Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here because I know that our Throwback Thursdays aren't really at the tip of everyone's tongue, but I think there are a lot of cases that need to be further discussed. Not that I'm arguing with the police or with the prosecutor, they know what they're doing. I'm not worried about that. But to keep a name out there. Do you agree? Because the case at Evelyn Boswell is one of the worst cases I have ever heard in my life. And thank you, OJ, for doing that. It is one of the worst cases I've ever heard in my life, and that is saying a lot, considering what we have been through. Oh my goodness, look at what we're going through right now. Shonda, girlfriend, Shonda and I were going to hang out last weekend. But it was so last minute, turned out I had forgot about some other plans. Let's please get our umbrellas and do this thing. Thank you so much, my wonderful friend, for gifting the Crime Lines and Lies memberships. Absolutely adore you all the time. When you support the channel, it's a totally different type of adoration because there's some days I'm sweating. So, first off, how was your Wednesday? Had a lot of stuff going on yesterday. We're actually going to do a members live tomorrow with our girl Kat to talk about some things amongst friends that have been going on over the last week. You know, that hornet's nest I stirred up. Don't worry, it's going to be entertaining because at the end of the day, we're all friends and we can just laugh about goofiness. All right, I'm missing a birthday. I know someone's birthday is today. Someone said yesterday that their birthday is today. Is it you, Mary Glick? Mary, is today your birthday? Let's go ahead and tell Mary Glick happy birthday because I do remember writing that down. Happy birthday, Mary Glick. Happy birthday, my wonderful friend. And I know you had a really hard Wednesday. I saw the pictures, but thank goodness you are okay. These summer storms, you just never know what's going to happen. Just Kat said, we don't take ourselves too seriously. No, we don't. We also have a saying around here, if you're new, raise your hand and say, hey, I'm new here. Get a proper welcome. We also have a phrase around here. We just say, trash takes itself out. Like it just seems to leave us alone after a while because we don't really care. Hippie grandma, this is so important. She says, I live about 15 minutes from where Megan Boswell lived. I guarantee you are on the up and up. Robin, my Wednesday very sad. Bonus daughter and new hubby moved to Kansas City. Robin, why don't you move with them? Become a Chiefs fan. What happened? Send me a message later. That's horrible. JTB will be right there to open you with welcome arms. Speaking of open arms, it is Baby Friday, Friday Eve. Welcome your neighbor. All right, put a 1 in chat if you actually enjoy our Throwback Thursdays or we can talk about cases that need to be spoke about again or are going through the trial system. A 2, if you're like, nah, I'd rather talk about other stuff. Oh, look at that. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Jinbug put her hands up. Jinbug, are you saying hi or that you're new? Because you're old as dirt around here, girlfriend. Love you to death. All right, let's get to it. First thing we have to discuss is at 15 months old, that we know right now, she could have been younger when she died, is this precious baby right here. Look at her. Now, there's a lot of dysfunction in her family, which is her mother's family. But the dysfunction should have never been put onto her. Never. Her grandfather sniffed a rat. There he is right there, Tommy Boswell, and confronted his daughter, Megan Boswell. She goes by Maggie, confronted her. Where is Evelyn? Where is Evelyn? Where is Evelyn May? Where is she? Well, I think we all have been on this planet long enough to know that if you're told that your child's with a babysitter and then later that night they're not home, when you're told all these different stories, you know something's wrong. Now, for those of you familiar with this case, and I'm going to tell you something right now, I will catch you up. Do you think possibly Chicken Shack Hunter and Angela Boswell knew Evelyn was gone? Because when Tommy called his ex-wife, Angela Boswell, let me put that looker up. Look at that. There she is right there. I'll tell you what, she got a lot going on. When he called and confronted her, she warned him because he said, I'm going to call CPS. I'm going to call the police. I'm going to find where my granddaughter is. She said, don't you dare. You will always regret it. What Angela didn't know is when the thumb of the law came down on her daughter blamed her. She said she had Evelyn. That's what she said. She had Evelyn. At that time, Angela Boswell was with this handsome human being. I call him Tattoo because he's got a face tattoo. William McLeod. Will. They had a lot of stuff going on. And I mean a lot. FBI was involved. They went to Virginia, North Carolina, you name it, trying to figure out what exactly happened to Evelyn. Sad fact of the matter is, Evelyn was dead in a shed the whole time. And her cause of death is horrific. She was found with aluminum foil in her mouth, in her throat. She was wrapped in it. And I believe they all knew. A lot of people have asked over the years, what could be the motive for killing such a beautiful little girl? I mean, look at her. Why would you? Why would you harm a hair on that baby? Why would you? Well, it's right here. Hunter Wood. Hunter Wood is the reason. Because Maggie started working at Hunter T's Chicken Shack. He said to her, I would love to have children someday, but not anyone else's children. Now, please keep in mind that Hunter stayed with Maggie until she was arrested for lying to the police. You're also going to find out in this show there's a big difference between Sullivan County in Tennessee and Hawkins County. The reason I believe Hunter knew and that Angela knew, Angela Boswell, is because before Tommy Boswell got wind that no one has seen Evelyn, Hunter gave a BMW to Angela and her boyfriend, Will. Then, when all the shit hit the fan, him and his mom reported it stolen. Well, those charges are no more because you can't steal something that was given to you. Maggie has a new story. She says she and Hunter were in bed and they rolled over on Evelyn and she suffocated. Well, no one puts a baby to bed with aluminum foil around them. Nobody makes balls of aluminum foil and puts them into a baby's mouth. No, no, no. Even if you watch that show, My 600-Pound Life, no one is going to roll over on a baby or an animal and not know that they're under there. Now, the trial is not till 2025, and I have a sneaking suspicion that Hunter told them all they need to know. Let's start with the family. You have to know about the family to understand this case. Of course, there is beautiful Eleanor. I keep saying Eleanor because that's my granddaughter's name. Evelyn. Someone spank me. Precious little Evelyn. Her dirtbag mom. The dirtbag boyfriend. And his mom's a real POS too because she kept going to court saying that BMW had been stolen when she knew damn good and well Hunter and his brother gave it to Angela and Will to take the other kids to doctor's appointments. All right, to the left of Megan is Ethan Perry. Because the first story that Maggie Boswell made up is she said Evelyn's dad came to get her. Oh, does that not sound like Lazy Simon that said Bubba had Quentin? So, of course, they start doing their investigating. By the way, no crime for a child to be with their father. No crime. But when they made contact with Ethan Perry, they realized he was in the military stationed in Louisiana. No way in hell did he have Evelyn. Of course, we know Tommy Boswell is the one that called and sounded the alarms. Good for him, because he was run through the ringer. I can't stand it when people are scared to call the authorities. That's what they're there for. Why do you think people are scared to call the authorities? Do they think they're going to be in trouble? Do they think they're going to get framed? What's more important, taking care of a child or the adult you suspect of doing something to the child? All right, to the right of Maggie Boswell, there is her mother. She's kind of like a Candace Wells. She likes the math, but is not good at math, if you know what I mean. Next to her is her boyfriend, Will McLeod. And under him is his grandma, Mary, who has enabled Will his entire life. Matter of fact, they drained a pond on her property looking for Evelyn. Yes, they did. Again, kind of like Candace Wells, Angela Boswell is yet someone else in East Tennessee that is not allowed to go into a Walmart because her and Will one day, after they stole from her father, actually it wasn't Will, it was another dude she was with, and that hurt Will's feelings because let's think about it. What man is going to be okay with the girlfriend get another dude to steal from her daddy? Well, it upset Will. But then they went and stole from the Walmart. They can't go back to the Walmart, or as Daisy says, the Walmarts. Let's go through the family real quick.
Investigators are collecting evidence as they try to find what led to the death of little Evelyn Boswell. After a 2-week Amber Alert search, authorities said that they found what they believe to be the remains of the 15-month-old on property along Muddy Creek Road in Sullivan County. Sheriff Jeff Cassidy said the land was owned by a relative of Evelyn's mother, Megan Boswell. No other information has been released about how the little girl died, and no one has been charged in connection to her death.
Well, she's charged now. She was indicted. Yeah, she screwed 6 ways to Sunday. She was indicted. She is charged. She had a great attorney who couldn't talk any sense into her, and now has another one. People were furious. They're like, are you kidding me? We're not having a trial? Not going to have a trial because this new attorney, along with all his other cases, has to have time to get familiar with it. I did a show, I'd say about a year ago, maybe. Maybe one of you can find it. It's called The Tale of Two Sheriffs. Ronnie Lawson in Hawkins County, Jeff Cassidy in Sullivan County. Because the way Jeff Cassidy handles his county is totally different from the way Jeff Cassidy handles Sullivan County. Ronnie Lawson does not handle his county properly. We know in that county, Summer Wells has been missing for over 3 years. Jeff Cassidy locked up Maggie Boswell. OJ, get down. See, you're really throwing me off. You're licking your ass right in front of me. I need you to get down. Thank you. I'm losing my train of thought, OJ. Jeff Cassidy locked up Maggie Boswell, of course, with assistance from the DA and his deputies, for changing her story. Yet in Hawkins County, we have Candace Wells still walking around free as a lark. Mary Glick said, stupid question. They rolled over on the baby. Are they saying they both rolled over on her? Okay. Yeah. That's what I want to know. You're really telling me that you didn't realize there was a 15-month-old baby under you? She herself would have said something. She could talk.
Directly related to her death. Today, a judge did increase Megan Boswell's bond from $25,000 to $150,000. And a TBI agent testified today Megan made incriminating statements when interviewed by investigators. She is charged with providing false statements, and her case now moves to a grand jury. Meanwhile, a memorial near where the child's body was found on Muddy Creek Road is growing for little Evelyn, as people from really around the Tri-Cities, the state, even around the country mourn her loss. Ansley Daniel is live outside the Sullivan County Sheriff's Department, where a memorial is growing there as well. Ansley?
Tonight, here outside the Sullivan County Sheriff's Department, people continue to leave tokens of grief for baby Evelyn at this makeshift memorial. But inside, investigators tell us they're combing through every piece of evidence on a timeline that stands back about 3 months. In a press conference, Sullivan County Sheriff Jeff Cassidy said the last credible sighting of 15-month-old Evelyn Boswell was December 10th or 11th by a babysitter. The Amber Alert reported that Evelyn was last seen on December 26th. On February 18th, Child Protective Services calls the Sullivan County Sheriff's Department. Contact was also made with Megan, where she said she was supposed to pick Evelyn up from a visit with her father, Ethan Perry, that afternoon. The next day, February 19th, the Sheriff's Office sends a missing child notification and the Amber Alert was issued. 2 days later, on the 21st, Sullivan County Sheriff Jeff Cassidy holds a press conference on the Amber Alert and issues a BOLO for a gray BMW with Tennessee tags. That evening, Evelyn's grandmother, Angela Boswell, and her boyfriend, William McLeod, were arrested in Wilkes County, North Carolina, on a stolen property charge for that car.
Okay, again, Angela and Will are the billboard. They're the poster children for POSs. They really are. They really are. Hang on, Kathy Marsh, that's an old news. Yes, we're doing Throwback Thursday, Kathy. Can everyone take a second and welcome Kathy? She is always a ray of sunshine in here. Everyone, welcome Kathy Marsh. So glad you're here, Kathy. I was really hoping that you would get Quiltgate solved. I really was. But you're here for Throwback Thursday. I understand you're from Tennessee too, so you should really care about this case, considering it's going to trial. Thank you, my little ray of sunshine. Okay, you cannot, well, you can, until the evidence comes through. Charge somebody for stealing the gray BMW when Hunter, Chicken Shack Hunter, here he is again. You're going to get used to his name today. Don't get it confused with Summer Wells' case. There he is. Hunter T's Chicken Shack. He gave it to Angela and Will. There they are again. Now, Maggie Boswell, she had a pretty good game plan going because she'd already got called out because there's no babysitter. Her great grandma doesn't have Evelyn. Not with Ethan. That's the daddy. So she tries to say that her mom and the boyfriend have Evelyn. They go to Virginia. They go to North Carolina. They're investigating everything she said. Everything she said. It was a good game there for a while, but something that Maggie did not know is that, you see, police have to have evidence. And the evidence would be Evelyn. Like Brit 1027 said, she sent them on a damn goose chase. She certainly did. Trying to get her geese in a row, but she knew she could not provide Evelyn. She knew it.
Gray BMW with Tennessee tags. That evening, Evelyn's grandmother, Angela Boswell, and her boyfriend, William McLeod, were arrested in Wilkes County, North Carolina, on a stolen property charge for that car. The following Monday, the 24th, Angela Boswell and William McLeod appear in court in North Carolina. Angela was extradited back to Tennessee that evening. Tuesday, February 25th, just 1 week after her daughter was reported missing, Megan Boswell was arrested on one charge of giving false reports. The following day, a pond search in connection to the case was conducted on the same road where McLeod and Angela Boswell were arrested. On Friday, February 28th, the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office and TBI search a Bluntville property belonging to Evelyn's uncle. That night, Angela Boswell bonded out of the Sullivan County Jail and refused to comment on her granddaughter's disappearance. March 3rd, Angela Boswell and William McLeod appear in criminal court in Bluntville. That evening, William McLeod bonded out of jail. March 5th, TBI spokesperson Leslie Earhart tells News Channel 11,
"We aren't any closer to determining where Evelyn is at this point."
The following night, March 6th, remains believed to be those of Evelyn Boswell are found on a Muddy Creek Road property owned by Megan's father.
During the search, investigators discovered human remains believed to be those of a 15-month-old girl.
Immediately, memorials begin near where the body was found and at the Sullivan County Sheriff's Department. Monday, March 9th, Megan Boswell appears in court.
Did Ms. Boswell make any culpatory statements with regard to the death of Evelyn Boswell?
You say culpatory? Yes.
That agent also described the clothing on the body found.
The clothing with the prior interview of Ms. Boswell, clothing described in that interview was the exact clothing that was found on this child.
That is one thing about this case. Well, one of the many, many things. One of the many, many things that has always really tripped me up. Everything down to the little pink hair bow and socks was 100% accurate. I actually do believe that Maggie gave her bath. Maggie got her a new toy. Maggie got her a new outfit. And then did the unthinkable. She wrapped her in aluminum foil. She put balls of aluminum foil into her little baby mouth. She wrapped her with the fleece blanket. She put her in a trash bag and she stuffed her down into the trash can. Now, she didn't put the trash out for waste management to pick up like Leilani. She left her there, knowing as the police were searching, FBI, TBI, multiple people, she left her there. The forensic pathologist said that the condition of Evelyn's neck was extremely unnatural, which tells forensics she was stuffed down in there. She didn't even take the time to take the rest of the trash out. This is beyond twisted. I'm not going to say over and over, trigger warning. You already know what we talk about here. This case bothers me to no end. And again, it was all over this guy. I am not giving Maggie any free passes, but when he said, I want kids someday, but I don't want anyone else's kids. Hell, when the police came to question Maggie one time, she was at his dad's house. She had Christmas with the family. How come not one person said, well, where's your baby? Where's your baby? They might have asked, and who knows what she said. All of that over a pogo stick. Her little baby girl.
Over the weekend, I spoke with Megan's attorney, Brad Sproles, who says his client was obviously upset when he told her the news that they believe they had found Megan. However, today in court, he told our team that he was unable to give any comment on the case until he has more information. In Blountville, Ansley Daniel, News Channel 11.
Crazy. Crazy. All right, so last I heard, and I could be wrong because things change all the time, the trial is in February of 2025. Now, Sullivan County, in my opinion, did a great job. They had to get the assistance of the TBI for obvious reasons, in case she's in another county. They had to get the assistance of the FBI because, well, Maggie, the one that allegedly killed her daughter, said that her mother and the mother's boyfriend took her out of state. So, of course, they had to. She was telling them about a campsite in Virginia. They're tracking this BMW. They find it in North Carolina at the grandma's house. And then, to throw a wrench in there, we have a woman in North Carolina working at the Kentucky Fried Chicken that said she saw Evelyn at the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Look at this. This is a big freaking problem with these people.
Ashley Hutchins was working the counter here at the KFC in Yadkinville, North Carolina, when a couple with a young girl came in. On Tuesday, she called the TBI to tell them that she believes the young girl she served applesauce to was missing 15-month-old Evelyn Boswell from Blountville, Tennessee.
I first recognized the boyfriend. I have tattoos, so I look at everybody's tattoos and face features and stuff. I'm really good at remembering people's faces, and I remember the tattoo on his neck, and it was like words or something, and then I remember the cross on his face.
Ashley Hutchins was working.
Now, let me tell you something right now. Kentucky Fried Chicken lady did not see them in there. They went through all of the cameras. And I do feel bad for the lady because she was really, really, really engulfed in the Evelyn Boswell case. She was in all the Facebook groups and all that stuff. I really think she was trying to help, but when you waste police investigators' time, you're not helping, because they got all the cameras, and guess what? Nobody with those tattoos were there during her shift. Even if she had the wrong date, they went back and back and back and back. I think she lost her job at Kentucky Fried Chicken. Anyone remember?
The counter at the KFC on State Street in Yadkinville, North Carolina, a few weeks ago when she says she believes she gave Evelyn Boswell applesauce. She says Evelyn was with her grandmother Angela and her boyfriend William McLeod.
She couldn't have been. Do you know why? Because they were on the run, because people were looking for them in the BMW, and Evelyn was upside down in the trash can. And I celebrate Jeff Cassidy. He goes against the grain. He does. I'm going to find something to put these people in jail until they squeal. And that's exactly what he did with Maggie Boswell. She's lied to us too many times. She's going to the pokey. So while she's sitting there and she's not in society, then guess what? We have time to do the investigation. Don't you love how Will McLeod always smiles for his mugshots? It's almost like he thinks he's a model or something.
She said Evelyn seemed happy and comfortable that day.
She had blonde hair, blue eyes. I mean, pretty. Little bow in her hair, and like popped up, you know, the little kind of, I call it pebble kind of look, you know. And I can't remember what shirt she had on. It was like a black leggings. She had one shoe on and one shoe off. Her shoe was white and pink. And that was basically it. Just a beautiful smile, beautiful eyes, and blonde hair, as you could tell.
Hutchins says the
Now, my question to this woman, okay, this question I had to this woman when she was in a Facebook group with me, which is it's gone now, renamed, whatever. I asked her, I said, well, why didn't you call 911 then? Why did you wait 3 weeks? Why? Her whole story in the Facebook group was they were eating their Kentucky Fried Chicken, and little Evelyn had nothing to eat. So she came out from behind the counter and gave her an applesauce and a little plastic spoon for her to eat. That shit didn't happen. If you think you're looking at a missing child and you can pull it up on your phone, the Amber Alert, you call them. You call them then. You try to keep them as happy as a pig in shit until authorities get there. Then they can verify it. You don't wait 3 weeks.
3 came in at lunchtime in a silver car. She says they didn't order food for the child and they paid with cash.
I kind of felt like something was out of the ordinary with it, just by the way he looked and she looked and everything. But like I said, there wasn't no Amber Alert, so I didn't think nothing of it. It just kind of crossed my mind that something just wasn't right with the whole situation.
On Tuesday, she called into the TBI to let them know she believes she saw the child at the center of the Amber Alert investigation. Yadkinville police told us they were investigating a tip in regards to a possible sighting of Evelyn Boswell at a KFC 2 to 3 weeks ago.
I called TBI Tuesday and told them about it and everything like that. And they got all my information and stuff. I guess they called my general manager and talked to him as well, and about, coming, sit down, watching the film and stuff. But I reported it Tuesday, and they reported it to, I guess, Yadkin County today.
TBI spokesperson Leslie Earhart confirmed that surveillance video has been reviewed at a variety of locations during the last week. She says, we did receive a tip pertaining to a possible sighting at a restaurant in North Carolina.
Even if it wasn't her, somebody that looked like her, it would be better to at least call it in to be 100% sure than not to say a word.
Investigators here in North Carolina tell us
Kat, my goodness, Kat just gifted 5 Crime Lines and Lies memberships. Let's get the umbrellas out. I'm going to tell you what I think my connection is between the KFC lady and Angela Boswell. Oh, ACCT said I used to spend a lot of time with Megan when she was in middle school. Her bestie was my bestie's little sis who died shortly before this. She was always off, but losing her bestie definitely helped drive this. Now, I have heard about her losing her best friend as well. The lady from KFC, there is a reason that Will and Angela kept making these trips to North Carolina. I don't think I need to play the Jeopardy music for y'all to put it together. Someone didn't pay the KFC lady, and I don't mean for the applesauce, for what her and her boyfriend gave to them. Because soon after this reported sighting, they got picked up. Did they have math on them? Damn right they did. ACT, if you would like to grab the link, please come up. This is extremely important. And no, KFC does not do math testing.
KFC 2 to 3 weeks ago.
I called TBI Tuesday and told them about it and everything like that. And they got all my information and stuff. I guess they called my general manager and talked to him as well, and about, coming, sit down, watching the film and stuff. But I reported it Tuesday, and they reported it to, I guess, Yadkin County today.
TBI spokesperson Leslie Earhart confirmed that surveillance video has been reviewed at a variety of locations during the last week. She says, "We did receive a tip pertaining to a possible sighting at a restaurant in North Carolina."
Even if it wasn't her, somebody that looked like her, it would be better to at least call it in to be 100% sure than not to say a word.
Investigators here in North Carolina tell us they are following up on any leads to help find the missing toddler, sending this search to 3 different states. If you have any information on Evelyn Boswell's whereabouts, call 1-800-TBI-FIND. In Yadkinville, North Carolina, Ansley Daniel, News Channel 11.
Yeah, they were all over the place. All over the place looking for Evelyn. And the lady at the KFC who there is a connection to Angela Boswell, and there was a argument about money. I don't know what Angela would owe her money for unless it's, math. But the KFC lady is standing there in front of Ansley Daniel, who drove over to North Carolina to get this interview. And she's standing there behind the Kentucky Fried Chicken counter with no bra on. Could you imagine? Imagine what your boobs would feel like with all that chicken grease under them. Look at that. That is ridiculous. Well, besides law enforcement, the only person I can say that did the right thing would be Tommy Boswell. Because he didn't care. He even said, I don't care if she goes to jail. I want to know where Evelyn is. Who in here would do the same thing? I'm looking for my grandbaby. She can't give me a straight answer. This is the simplest answer ever. Where's Evelyn? Oh, with her dad. Her dad's in the military. She saw her dad when he was on leave, but he's back in Louisiana. He can't have her. He's in the military. With a babysitter. Well, I called my mom. She's not with her. I'm going to call your mom. I'm going to find out. You better put her on that phone right now. You better put her on the phone right now. Well, she couldn't produce Evelyn. I'm going to come over there and I'm going to find out what's going on. Well, guess what she did? She left and she went to stay with Chicken Shack. Damn right she did. Question is, what does Chicken Shack know? What does Hunter Wood from Hunter T's Chicken Shack know? He went on the news and he gave an interview and he just kept saying, I don't know that child. I've never been around that child. But that interview was removed. He also started using his brain, I guess, thinking he was going to help Maggie because she was helping him so much at the Chicken Shack. So the BMW, which is a much older one, by the way, it's not brand new off the lot. They give it to Angela and Will. But Tommy Boswell wasn't having it. Oh, hell no. And neither was Maggie's brother. I'm telling you something right now. Chicken Shack does have a more affluent family in the area. Okay? He really does. Don't think Chicken Shack bought his own Chicken Shack. His daddy did that. I have a feeling they grabbed him by the nape of his neck and they took him straight to an attorney that says, we're here to make a deal. He's going to talk and he's going to walk.
What do you guys think happened? Can you comment on
I
that?
don't know what happened, but I'm the one called DCS and got this started.
And why did you call DCS?
Because my granddaughter, she never did come back, and I just want to know what happened to her.
When was the last time you had seen her?
Thanksgiving, up to his house. We all had Thanksgiving dinner.
So you hadn't seen her since Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving.
I know some reports say that it was like early December, so yours was a lot longer than that.
Yeah, it was Thanksgiving.
Had you been in communication with them at all? Like, I know you hadn't seen her, but what about
No,
talking?
I hadn't talked to her enough. I stayed busy, and I talked to my ex-wife, and I told her, I said, if Evelyn don't come home, I'm going to do something about it. And she said, you better not do that. You're going to regret this.
We are learning new details today in the case.
What do you guys think?
Okay, this is a very important statement. If I need to slow it down, I will. Listen to what Tommy Boswell says. He didn't have the best relationship with his daughter. But he says, I called my ex-wife and she said, you better not or you're going to regret it. Now remember, Angela and Will are having the time of their life in the BMW. They're going to see the KFC lady to get their math, okay? They're loving life. She tells him, you better not or you're going to regret it. Listen to what he says again.
Happened. Can you comment on
I
that?
don't know what happened, but I'm the one called DCS and got this started.
And why did you call DCS?
Because my granddaughter, she never did come back, and I just want to know what happened to her.
When was the last time you had seen her?
Thanksgiving, up to his house. We all had Thanksgiving dinner.
So you hadn't seen her since Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving.
I know some reports say that it was like early December, so yours was a lot longer than that.
Yeah, it was Thanksgiving.
Had you been in communication with them at all? Like, I know you hadn't seen her, but what about
No,
talking?
I hadn't talked to her enough. I stayed busy, and I talked to my ex-wife, and I told her, I said, if Evelyn don't come home, I'm going to do something about it. And she said, you better not do that. You're going to regret this.
We are learning new details.
You better not or you're going to regret this. Did Angela Boswell not think in her mathed out mind that at some point someone is not going to ask where Evelyn is? Other people bought the line of bullshit. They did. Other people bought it. I believe 100% Chicken Shack knew. But those that weren't taking the line of BS, they were up in arms. Now, Chicken Shack's mom went through a ton of hoops. She even testified that that BMW was stolen. Well, the evidence proved otherwise. And this case has been going on since 2020, even though Kathy Marsh says we're not supposed to talk about it. I can tell you this right now, the private investigators and the psychics were all wrong. All wrong. They were nowhere near close to what was really going on with little Evelyn. But Jeff Cassidy was. He is a great sheriff. Now, this is before Evelyn was found. Just listen to his tone. Now, you're going to hear some stuff from Leslie from TBI. It's a rinse repeat, they say in every press conference. The sheriff pretty much had it sized up, just didn't know where to find Evelyn. He took this case extremely personal, and he was furious, and probably still is, with the lies that Maggie kept giving.
We've been looking for baby Evelyn since last Tuesday. We've been working 24/7 nonstop. As you all know, she was first reported missing last week, and we're still searching for her and working to determine exactly when she disappeared. We have followed up on over 570 tips, along with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation and Federal Bureau of Investigation. We've been working as a team on this ever since baby Evelyn went missing. At this point, most of you are aware that we've received a number of conflicting, inaccurate statements from the mother, Megan Boswell, Evelyn's mother.
Okay, let's cue the Jeopardy music. What mother that's looking for her baby would give any conflicting statement. I can give you a couple of examples. Lazy Simon gave conflicting statements. Casey Anthony gave conflicting statements. Letitia Stout gave conflicting statements. And like he said, she has given multiple inaccurate statements. So he arrested her ass. He arrested her. It makes you wonder why a county over, Hawkins County, why they didn't arrest Candace Wells. Don Wells himself even brought up the Megan Boswell case and said Candace is being treated like Megan Boswell. Jen Soto's another one. There you go. Katie Proudfoot's another one. You're exactly right. Man, you guys are on the ball.
During the investigation, we determined that some of the statements Megan Boswell provided to us were false. Many of the false statements that Megan made delayed our investigations and also impeded our investigations on trying to find Evelyn. As a result, she has been charged with false reporting. Because the investigation remains active and ongoing, we can only release specific answers to this investigation. Of course, everybody knows that a lot of the stuff that we receive, work with it being conflicting and inaccurate, and a lot of the information you all are receiving are from the mother, Maggie. A lot of the stuff that you're seeing out on social media and a lot of stuff that has been relayed to you hadn't come from our office. So we want to release the most accurate information to you all, and we want to be promptly in doing so. So a lot of the stuff that you all are getting is from the mother, and you take with it what you want. But she has been inaccurate, conflicting statements all through this investigation. If you have any more information.
Okay, I know the volume isn't the best. It's what I have. When Evil Entered, love your channel. You guys take a second to subscribe to When Evil Entered. Corruption in Hawkins County for a big fish and maybe themselves, in my opinion. I agree. See, this is how a sheriff conducts business. This is how a sheriff addresses the public. This is how a sheriff says, all right, TBI, you're over there. I'm going to take care of this because not in my county today, Satin. Not doing it. This is how the sheriff of my county addresses things. We're not doing this. This is how the sheriff of my home county addresses things. Hell, when he was fighting with the DA and the DA said he had no evidence about a meth lab, he got a wrecker to take the whole double wide and put it into the courthouse parking lot and said, there's your evidence. Go through it. Do it. Here's all the evidence. You process it. People were furious in these Facebook groups. You know how those Facebook groups get sometimes. Personally, I appreciate them because I think it's good to keep talking about a case. In these Facebook groups, they said, it has to be Angela and Will. They're the only ones that could have done this. How dare they lock up a mom who's looking for her child? How dare they? And I was the dum-dum with my dick in the wind saying, what do you mean? She didn't hand her mother off to a couple of math heads. She has done something. And now the evidence is leaking out and leaking out and leaking out and leaking out in every court hearing. And we have a trial coming up in early 2025. Real rockin' Robin. I love sheriffs that take no shit. Me too. And again, it will come out in trial. As of right now, this is my opinion. I think it comes right down to this, my friends. It was all about the chicken shack pogo stick. That's all it was. That's what she was after. The chicken shack, pogo stick, and the life she thought Hunter T's chicken shack was going to give her. When he said to her, I want children someday, but not other people's children. Well, then this precious little baby girl got put in the trash. Look at this. This is just, look at the timestamp. September 12th, 2019, 12:15 a.m. before she went to work at the chicken shack. It's spooky time with a pumpkin. She goes to work at the chicken shack a month later, a couple months later. Chicken shack tells her, Evelyn's not good enough for me or my family. They don't want me around anyone who has a child. They don't want me around like that. And she's gone. Just like that.
Or need information about these specific charges and about maybe the future of this case, I would like to refer that to our District Attorney General, Barry Stafford, or District Attorney General office. Okay. Also, if you have any questions relating to the Amber Alert process, of course, I'd like to refer you to our Public Information Officer for the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, Leslie Earhart. However, please know that we remain committed and continue to do everything possible to find out what happened to Evelyn. And as always, as soon as relevant information and accurate information, I want to really reiterate that as it comes to us, we will get that out as soon as possible. Okay. Anyone with relevant information concerning Evelyn's whereabouts are asked to call 1-800-TBI-5. Okay. I'm just going to take a few questions because everything we have released to you, that have been proved to be relevant or misinformation. So there's not really much that we can answer because, like I say, this is an active, ongoing investigation, and we don't want to have conflicting stories, and social media has really impeded this investigation. So we really want to get just accurate information out to you all. Okay, so I'll take a few.
Let's talk about the comment on the screen. Thank you so much, Real Rockin' Robin, for jarring my memory. Everyone, let's have a big round of applause for Real Rockin' Robin. This is true, Rockin' Robin. She stood right there in front of the news cameras. She said that she was there at the department to take a polygraph test. Jeff Cassidy is shaking his head saying, we don't even have a polygraph here. That's one of the reasons I said, I don't think Don and Candace really took one, or at least not on the day that they said they did. That's a test that not just everyone can do. And she said that because I'm pregnant, I can't take one. This was a tractor beam to Chicken Shack and his family. Look at me. I'm probably going to get arrested, and I'm with child. I'm with child. Could you imagine? She wasn't pregnant. She made that up. A really nice lady named Cindy Broom. She had Maggie staying with her. You know why? Because the Chicken Shack family threw her out. I said, you're not staying here no more. You can forget that shit. All right, Christy Broom. She said, I just joined this group tonight. I appreciate it very much. I'm not sure where to even begin, but I've known Megan since she started kindergarten with my daughter, who also passed away 1 year and 4 months ago. And I feel very bad for Cindy Broom because she was trying to do the right thing by Megan and by Evelyn, even though she caught a lot of hell. She was only 17 and her case has yet to be solved. So I was blessed to know Evelyn. I know Megan, and unfortunately, I know her so-called mother as well. Such pathetic things I've seen over the years. But Megan showed up at my house, dropped off by some hotel employee on the day the Amber Alert was issued. I was so happy to see her. I knew she would call me eventually because of our history and how my family kind of took her in after my daughter passed away. But when I saw Megan, I thought we'd go talk. She'd explain everything to me, and I'd have some kind of understanding about where Evelyn was. My hope faded so fast as I listened to lie upon lie and watched her behave like there was absolutely nothing happening. The first search they did of Tommy's property, Megan was with me, and she kept saying, I just feel like I'm gonna get arrested. And I said, why would you even say that? And she said she felt like her mom would basically kill Evelyn. Well, guess what? Her mom was nowhere near Evelyn. No. So like we see in this show all the time, these deviants, these criminals, their web is so far reaching. They'll involve anyone to get their way. She goes on to say, I told her that investigators were smarter than that. Then it really got weird when she finally started calling the authorities because I had to make her, but they told her they had found some sensitive evidence and they couldn't tell her what that was over the phone, only that it wasn't a body. And her reply to the TBI agent was that she just would wait until the next day to find out. I knew then that poor Evelyn was gone, but I looked her dead in the eyes and I said, what the F is wrong with you, Megan? What do you mean we'll wait to find out what they find? I told her at that point that we were going down there now. We went and I spoke and was asked questions by TBI in Sullivan County. Like I said, I knew at that point that she wasn't in any kind of distress, and they knew it was too. So we finally left about 1 a.m. Megan was so relieved to hear that they didn't find a body, and it was so strange. Honestly, by this time, she was acting more like someone that got away with murder. I informed the TBI agent about her response because she had also said she was glad to hear they didn't do any digging. I'm like, WTF? What does that even mean? I cried and told her, Megan, please, it's snowing outside. She's out there somewhere. Think about this conversation. Think about this conversation that Cindy Broom is having with Megan, someone she's known since kindergarten.
A few questions, and my public information officer, Captain Seabold, will take us if you have anything relating to the missing vehicle and the BOLO that we put on the BMW and the charges on the grandmother and Mr. McLeod. Okay.
Sheriff, yesterday Megan Boswell told us that she couldn't take a polygraph because she was pregnant. Can you kind of touch on the fact that you guys maybe have not administered one?
Okay, listen to this. Megan Boswell told us this morning that she was here for a polygraph and couldn't take one because she's pregnant. Again, the volume's not really good. I have the closed captions up. Listen to this.
Told us that she couldn't take a polygraph because she was pregnant. Can you kind of touch on the fact that you guys maybe have not administered one of those to her, or has she received a CBSA or anything like that?
She was never asked to meet us for any polygraph. We don't actually have a polygraph examiner. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation does the polygraphing. We never set up any type of interview for her. And the pregnant statements, I'll have to leave that to her. That's information she released to you. Of course, it being medical, there's HIPAA violations that we have to look into, and I can't release that information at this time.
Sheriff, do you still believe Evelyn Boswell is alive, and are you any closer to finding where she is?
I hope and pray. My staff hopes and pray, and everybody working on this case hope and pray she's alive. We're going to continue to work just like she is alive.
Sheriff, as more time elapses, is this case becoming more complicated?
Well, it was complicated from the beginning. Good question, but like I say, we were it was just reported last Tuesday. Last known sighting verified was 1st of December. So we were already behind the 8 ball, 67, 68 days before she was even reported missing. So a lot of the tips that we followed up on, they hadn't been really relevant to or pertinent to our investigation.
Sheriff, we're hearing that authorities in Wilkes County are searching and applying in connection with this. Speaking of those social media rumors, is this true, and how can we combat things like
I'm glad you brought that up, Angie. I meant to tell you all that is just information we just received, and that is confirmed. They are looking in an area in Wilkes County, North Carolina. It wasn't asked from anybody that I know of from our agency or Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, but they are actively looking at a area in Wilkes County, North Carolina.
And this is in connection with Evelyn Boswell?
Yes, ma'am.
Is the reward money still at $56,000?
No, it's up to $59,850.
How frustrating is it for you as the rumors on social media have circulated? We've heard reports possibly in Virginia Beach, now North Carolina. I mean, do you have any idea where these leads are coming from, and kind of how are you working to combat those that are false?
Well, that's one thing I want to relay to the public. Law enforcement has to work on probable cause. We can't go on assumptions, gut feelings. We have to have relevant, sufficient evidence to prosecute a case. So with that, I got with the District Attorney General late last night while we were working on this case, and all we have at the time was false reporting. So we arrested her for that. And like I say, our main concern right now is finding Evelyn, but like you said, very frustrating. 2 months before she's even reported missing, it puts us behind, puts our investigation behind. And then, like you say, speculation, people posting on social media, assumptions. We can't go on assumptions. We got to have fact, and with the fact, we have to have probable cause before we can execute search warrants, make arrests. If that makes sense.
Sure, following up on that, how should the community help? If you have any questions, what can we do?
The community has been outstanding. The outpouring support of the support from the community, but you gotta think of our timeline of 2 months, over 2 months her missing. We would love to have a grid search area and form search teams to assist us in locating.
Okay, let's talk about this, because little Evelyn broke my heart and still does. Like Jeff Cassidy said, we would like to have a grid search. She's 15 months old. We would like to do all the things, but we're 2 months behind the 8 ball. The last time she was seen is not the same time she was reported. If a child is reported missing at noon, they're ready to rock and roll. They're like, we're going to find this child. If it's been 2 months, they have to do a totally different investigative tactic. This is the truth. They have to. And I just think the way that he conducted this investigation, he should probably teach other sheriffs in Tennessee. Because I'm telling you, anyone they could shake up, they did. And no, all the rugs and math, it was hard getting people to talk. I have a feeling there was a lot of deals made in Sullivan County. Look, I know you have this warrant right here. I don't really care about it right now. Look, $400, bench warrant, poof, gone. Tell me what you know, but it's not poof gone until you tell me.
Okay, we have one of 413 square miles in our county, and then there's a possibility of Mendota, some possibilities of North Carolina. You can imagine the labor-intensive work we would have just trying to form a search team. If we can get some information to where we can narrow that down to in a mile grid area, we would be glad to have more help. But just prayers, concerns, support from our local community and all over the nation has really been outpouring. We appreciate the prayers and support.
Sheriff, have you been?
Horrible, horrible that they would have to go through all these hoops to find this precious baby girl. Look at her. She got two little twofers in the bottom. Look at her. How do you go from dressing your baby up for Halloween to this piece of shit? And I don't know if the trial's going to be televised, but I do know that once it hit the news that Evelyn was missing and the Amber Alert came out, Hunter got rid. He got rid of Maggie Boswell. He's like, go on. She went to a hotel. She called a friend of a friend. Her parents wouldn't let her anywhere around. Well, Tommy damn sure wouldn't, because he already knew something was up. He also got a lot of heat because they were like, well, why doesn't he bond her out of jail? He's got plenty of money. He does all that concrete work. Why doesn't he bond her out of jail? I understand this is a tough decision, but which one of you would bond your child out of jail for lying to the police during an investigation to find your granddaughter? I would have to say, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. No way. I just couldn't do it. And I don't judge people that do. It happens all the time. But I just couldn't. Now, this is going to be tough here, but this is when we're going to go through, and it's a shorter clip. When the forensic pathologist testifies about how Evelyn passed away.
We are continuing to follow new developments after the woman accused of killing her 15-month-old baby appeared in court this afternoon.
At Megan Boswell's hearing today in Bluntville, a judge heard arguments over whether certain photographs could be used as evidence and shown to jurors when the case goes to trial. Megan Boswell's accused of killing her then 15-month-old daughter, Evelyn, over 2 years ago. Now she faces 2 counts of felony murder and is accused of lying to investigators. Her daughter's remains were found on a family member's property.
Oh, yeah, they were. Oh, yeah, they were. With that beautiful baby girl, dressed exactly the way Maggie said. Exactly. And you know what has always freaked me out? Is that the outfit she put her in is so similar to the one that Summer Wells supposedly had on that day, that little jogging outfit. Then you have Don Wells talking about the Evelyn Boswell case. It has always really bothered me. You have 2 children in the same area wearing basically a carbon copy of what they have on. How does that happen? Obviously, you can't put a bow in Summer's hair because it was shaved to the scalp. But I mean, these outfits are like carbon copy. HGC said, I know my dad sure as heck wouldn't do it. Hell no. If I asked my dad to grab an umbrella for me, he'd look at me and say, didn't I raise you? Don't you know it's raining? Get your own umbrella. Hell, I'm old. You should be taking care of me.
Investigators. Her daughter's remains were found on a family member's property.
In today's hearing, a forensic pathologist said Evelyn's cause of death was asphyxia, and a TBI agent said her body was found inside of a trash can in a playhouse.
Ansley Daniel has been in the courtroom throughout the day.
Now, this playhouse is a playhouse that Maggie Boswell's grandfather built for her when she was a little girl. There is a trash can in there, but it had trash in there, and that's where she put her. Maggie adored that playhouse. I just wonder how many times she went to visit the playhouse. I really, really do. Kat said so. How did the remains not get found before? Was it not searched? It's big property. The warrant didn't cover that. They were mainly looking for evidence inside of where Maggie lived. And then they were on the wild goose chase with Kentucky Fried Chicken, Mendota, Virginia, draining the pond in North Carolina. But then they got the right tip. I'm going to assume that tip came from her father, who's going to testify in trial. But they found her upside down in a trash can, covered in aluminum foil, in a trash bag. I'll give her maybe 0.00001% credit that she didn't put the trash out for waste management like Leilani did.
They monitoring the graphic testimony. Ansley, let's go through the developments that came out of the hearing today.
Well, Josh and Sarah, a lot of information came out of this 3-hour hearing today that detailed the photos of the night that Evelyn was found. Now, the purpose of today's hearing was to decide which photos could be used in trial. They weren't shown today, but were only described in testimony. That testimony, though, revealed that Evelyn died of asphyxiation or suffocation. The state did bring in a forensic pathologist to explain how these photos reveal her cause of death, along with how decomposed her body was when it was found. It explained that Evelyn was found inside of a playhouse, but that her body was wrapped in aluminum foil, then inside what is described as a thick fleece blanket. She was then put in a trash bag and placed upside down in a garbage can.
What's really important for me was to show the placement of the foil and how tightly actually one can see the outline of the head and upper body with a.
I still think Maggie had some help. I do. I give her no bonus points for that. Okay? I give her no sympathy, no bonus points. Now they're going to show these pictures. Okay? But the aluminum foil was so tight they could make out the outline of this baby's face. They could make out this outline. Look at that. Children do not get wrapped in aluminum foil. Snow said her neck was in a way where they could tell they squished her in. Uh-huh. They had her stuffed in that trash can. Yes, they did. The question is, and only forensics can tell us, was she already deceased? Or did she die in there? Because her head was bent backwards. They said the way the positioning of her neck was unnatural.
trash bag and placed upside down in a garbage can.
What's really important for me was to show the placement of the foil and how tightly actually one can see the outline of the head and upper body with the foil being attached. So it's not crumpled foil from somebody, I don't know, barbecuing or doing something and then putting it next to the child. It's actually wrapped around the upper part of the child.
The photo.
Now look at Maggie Boswell sitting there with that rag on her face. How freaking ridiculous. Acting like she's taking notes. Girl, you have all the notes. This could have been over the day your daddy called you. You really think with the forensics and your daughter's body, they're not going to figure out exactly what you did? You think Chicken Shack loves you so much he's going to take the rap? Hell, he was at Nickajack Lake on Instagram a few weeks ago on a jet ski. He's done moved on. The minute it hit the news, him and his daddy kicked you out of the house. That's the reason you were piddling around trying to find hotel rooms to go to. So you do the unthinkable to keep Chicken Shack. He was just using you anyway. And we all know in here what he was using her for. We know what he was using her for. She complained when she was in jail that she hadn't heard from him. Hadn't heard from him. Not, have they found my daughter? She hadn't heard from Chicken Shack. She was working for below minimum wage and taking care of the pogo stick. And her baby girl is dead. Let me tell you something right now. Ethan Perry's mother, who was Evelyn's father, who was stationed in Louisiana during the time. Now, his mother has died from cancer since then. And to be quite honest, Evelyn looks just like Ethan's grandma, Ethan's mom. She'd have taken that baby in a heartbeat. She would have taken that baby in a heartbeat.
Photos also show indentions on Evelyn's head and body from the foil and blanket and show that her body was in a position the pathologist said wouldn't allow her to breathe. The court did have to take a recess before getting deep into that testimony today because Megan Boswell hadn't seen the photos before today's hearing. She was visibly crying when she walked back into the courtroom this afternoon.
The pictures that we went back and went through are very graphic and just very disturbing. And, you know, she reacted the way I would expect any of us to. You know, it was very upsetting. Unfortunately, I've had the opportunity to look at those pictures over and over again.
The photos weren't the only point of contention today. Court started by Boswell asking for a new attorney. She and Sproles told the judge that they are not on the same page when it comes to this case, and that all came to a head today as he said they weren't able to effectively prepare for this hearing.
Nope, kind of like Sarah Boone. Just like Sarah Boone, she can't get along with her attorney. She won't take her attorney's advice. So now she has a new attorney. Where we're at right now with the case is the judge is going to allow all the evidence related to the death of Evelyn. Let me put it that way. They're allowing all of it. There will not be a venue change. Nope. No way, no how. And you'd be stupid to do that. You know why? Because the evidence is going to speak for itself. And how stupid she is that the longer she waits to go to trial, the more investigation they can get. So you lose an attorney because the attorney can't get the pictures taken out. Since when is a trial not about the victim? We're talking about a trial. We're not talking about traffic tickets.
The photos weren't the only point of contention today. Court started by Boswell asking for a new attorney. She and Sproles told the judge that they are not on the same page when it comes to this case, and that all came to a head today as he said they weren't able to effectively prepare for this hearing. The judge denied that request, but said that could change depending on how they work together in the future. The judge only decided to omit a handful of photos from the trial. He said in his eyes, especially after today's testimony, they are all relevant when it comes to finding out what happened to Evelyn Boswell. In Blunteville, Ansley Daniel, News Channel 11.
I don't think these idiots realize that if they ask for a speedy trial, they have a much better chance of getting off. Because in no way, if they get a speedy trial, which is your constitutional right, are they going to have everything they need. Instead, they sit there with their 3 hots in a cot, their county crocs, their county haircuts, their county showers, their county water, and they let them just stack the deck against them. And let me tell you something right now, 9.999 times out of 10, they're in there for a damn good reason. And we know in this case, the alleged is kind of like Tennessee's Susan Smith, because she wanted him on the screen, Chicken Shack, over her beautiful baby girl. Didn't even consult with her own daddy. No. She took it into her own hands. Let's do a vote real quick. Do you want to continue doing Throwback Thursday to recover cases that are on the way to trial, people that are up for parole? Put a 1 in here if you do. Put a 2 if you're like, nah, I'm good. I'd rather talk about something else. Exploited Innocence says, yes, please. Not even a 1 there. True Crime Beat. Yep, there we go. All right. Fun to Ski. 1111. Damn. All right. Looks like you all have made your decision, because you're going to shit your pants when you hear next Thursday. You won't believe what I bring up. Kathy Marsh is going to come in here and say it's old news. Well, Kathy Marsh, I'll tell you what. You better go get on Chicken Shack's pogo stick if you're going to come around here. You can sit and spin on that if you want. Because I about had it with that crew coming in here being right fighters with us. It's ridiculous. But we know what? We just let them hang around. The more they see us all communicate, conversate, get along, it drives them insane. They would like nothing more than to divide and conquer. Well, it's not going to happen because we are a family. I love you all. Mod Squad, you're absolutely amazing. Thank you so much today for the gifted memberships. Shonda, girl, Just Cat, next for the spanking. Pat K says prayers and love to all. You too, Pat K, we love you. There you go. This is how I look at it. V. Oakley, trolls need love too. I think we're going to see if Kat can make a video. Remember back in the 80s? I think it was Samantha Fox Naughty girls need love too. We can do one for Kathy and the others. Trolls need love too. All right, I love you guys. I will see you back here tomorrow. We're doing a members live. Kathy Marsh, I would love to have you in because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Your ears are going to be burning. You guys are the absolute best. I will see you back here tomorrow for a pretty impressive members live. Love you.